Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a family member and thought to yourself, why do we keep having the same conflict repeatedly? I know I have, so I believe you have too. Like, don't even front. Or maybe you've noticed that certain roles in your family, they just never seem to change. Like, someone is always the peacemaker, someone is always the problem solver, and someone else may always feel unheard. Sometimes it feels like no matter how much we try, because it's a you and I, right? You're not alone. Like the patterns, they continue to repeat themselves. And honestly, if we're not careful, these dynamics can spill over into our work, they can spill over into our friendships, and most certainly our relationships, affecting our confidence, choices, and even, yes, the big one, our purpose. I need you to stick with me, right? I need you to stick with me because by the end of this episode, you will have practical ways to reset your role in your family, create healthier interactions, and regain your sense of self, right? Hi, I am Jocelyn, and welcome to Ignite Futures Glow Forward with Jocelyn, the podcast where I turn challenges into clarity, confidence, and intentional growth. Family dynamics. Breaking patterns and building healthier relationships is the title of today's episode. And if you're watching this right now, it means that either you understand what has happened in your life or you're currently experiencing those family dynamics. And you are so desperately seeking change. In this episode, I'm going to be exploring several things. I'm going to be exploring how patterns in families develop, how they affect adult life. I'm going to provide you with steps to break unhealthy cycles and ways to create relationships that foster the growth that you most certainly search for. Remember to subscribe to Ignite Futures with Jocelyn. I need you to subscribe, right? Subscribe on your preferred podcast platform to ensure that you don't miss any episodes because I talk about life, I talk about career, and I talk about academics. Something in there has to be something that you need and want. So come see me, come hear me. Let's get started. All right, so I want to discuss what are family dynamics. How families interact is shaped by family dynamics, right? They are all the invisible rules and roles that happen in families. I need you to reflect on this, right? Before we get into the nitty gritty of things. In what manner did your family manage disagreements? How was it dealt with? Was one person always the mediator, standing in between the disagreements? Was there an expectation for someone to always be responsible for the feelings of others? These patterns often start in childhood, but they can literally stay with us well into adulthood. And here's the thing, right? They hold either like the ability to help us thrive or they have the ability to actually hold us back. So I need you to think for a minute, which one is it for you? Right? I had to do the work on that and I need you to do the work on it too. Healthy dynamics, they provide overall support and guidance, which is what we all need. But there are many patterns that go unchecked, like favoritism, rigid roles, or avoidance. By these things going unchecked, you understand that they can create stress and they can create miscommunication and even that big, big, big word, self doubt, right? I like to remind listeners here family dynamics aren't a reflection of your worth. They are not a reflection of your value. Like, if you have to repeat that to yourself, I need you to do that. They are a system, Awareness and intention can adjust it just as they can adjust any system that you are within or any system that's around you. So, story time. I want to share with you a bit of my story because I've lived this, right? I'm my own family. I'm a part of a family. I wasn't just born here by myself. While earning my first 3 degrees, as you all know, I do have four, two masters, right? But we're only going to talk about three. I have my associates, I have my bachelor's, and my master's of clinical social work with a specialization in child welfare. I was a single mother while I was going through all three of those. Every day involved juggling parenting responsibilities, schoolwork, internships, work. I might have had a boo thing back then too, so that's part of that too. And some nights I stayed up late, like going over my papers, studying, right? While I'm still making sure that my son had dinner and homework support, and the person that I was with also received that, and watching TV and cartoons with my baby, of course, right? Some days I felt very stretched beyond what seemed humanly possible. I am a male mortal. I worried I wasn't doing enough at home. I worried I wasn't doing enough for my son in school, in life, in my relationship. But I also celebrated victories, right? So here goes the caveat. Finishing a particularly hard assignment, walking across that graduation stage and feeling that quiet satisfaction of knowing that I hadn't given up because I don't see failure. There's no reason to see failure because I get to live another day to do the best that I can. And that's the real key about this, right? Those moments of exhaustion, doubt, or not enough, all those quote unquote, are actually opportunities to pause, reflect, and reset. They shape how we navigate life, they shape how we navigate relationships, and they shape the challenges that we come to much later on down the line. Many families, they assign roles sometimes without even realizing it. They probably don't even mean to do it. It just so happens like that. So here are some roles that I'm going to throw out. And if one of these is yours, go ahead and catch it and hold it. The responsible one, the caregiver, the mediator, the achiever. And if you carry more roles than just one, go ahead and grab any of those and all of those if you need to. The rebel, the quiet observer. Okay? That was a lot of roles. I think there's more than that, but this is just to highlight a few. These roles, overall, they help us adapt as children. They're supposed to be what gives us a sense of belonging and gives us a sense of purpose. But I don't know if you're ready to hear this. When we carry them into adulthood, like without reflection, they literally become limiting of our values, our worth, and our purpose. I want you to think about it like this. I always love to give examples to help my listener, you, understand it more. Maybe you're the peacemaker in your family, right? But in your adult life, that same habit causes you to avoid necessary conflict, or it causes you to neglect your own needs. Recognizing the role is actually the first step to choosing a healthier response. Are you recognizing right now? Is it seeping in? Good. Grab that notebook, grab that journal, because you got the homework, right? What role do you usually play in your family? Is it helping you to grow, or is it keeping you stuck? Are you stuck, honey? Are you stuck? If this episode resonates with you so far, I want you to I want you to follow, share, and subscribe. And I want you to follow me, Ignite Futures by Jocelyn, wherever you listen to your podcast at. I'm on all the major platforms. And I just added myself to YouTube, so this should be pretty fun. All right, we go into a fun one. When dynamics become challenging. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Challenges emerge when you feel, you, You feel responsible for everyone else's emotions. You avoid conversations just to keep the peace. I know I've done that plenty of times, right? Just so that my family wouldn't be mad at me. Your voice isn't valued, and expectations, you don't even know what that is because they literally feel impossible. Like I'm looking in the sky for them right now. And here is where it gets so tricky. These dynamics, they often feel very quote unquote normal because they've been around you literally your whole entire life. You might not even realize how much they impact your confidence, choices, and emotional well being until you actually take that step back and you reflect, which is what I'm trying to get you to do throughout this episode. This is where that magic of reflection can happen at. Um, Awareness is the first step to change, right? Once you become aware of something, you then decide, I don't want to be there. I don't want to feel like this. And that is when that change is possible because you're ready. Once you recognize patterns, you literally can choose how to respond differently rather than repeating the cycle unconsciously. We're trying to get you to break unhealthy patterns. So maybe you don't know how to do that just yet and you need some support. So I'm going to give you some steps. Go ahead and write this down if you need to, or you can come back to this episode anytime to capture it. Step one, you have to recognize the pattern. You need to ask yourself, what roles do I play? Which behaviors serve me? And which behaviors do not serve the purpose in which I am in or walking towards? Step two, you need to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries. I wish I had a bouncing ball, right? Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. Everyone thinks they put up a boundary, everybody just go away. That's not what it's about. They're actually about protecting your emotional space, like your energy is relevant here. Examples of that include, because you need to know exactly how it kind of looks, it includes clearly communicating what your needs are. Those people that are relevant to you and your family, they need to know what you need. Taking space when conversations are unproductive. You don't have to keep going back and forth with people to get them to hear you need different. Just go ahead and move yourself away from them. Take up the space you need. Not carrying responsibility for emotions that aren't yours. They're not your emotions. Let that person, defensive, sad, guilt, blame, whatever, let them keep it. Go ahead, clear it off of you. Stop carrying it as armor. Step three, communicate with intention. So intentional communication means listening actively, speaking honestly without blame, not doing this and turning it more inward. Like, hey, I feel this way. So it's more of an accountability piece and less of a you are the problem piece, meaning them. Seeking to understand before responding, traveling your mind, process what's happening, what's being said, then respond. Changing patterns doesn't happen overnight. This is not overnight oats. You will not get up in the morning and now the oatmeal is made the way that you need it to be made, and that's it. It's not. It's a practice. One conversation, one boundary, one reflection at a time is all that you are working towards. You can't cover all of it at, I want to say one time, nor the same time. So, another story time for me, right? I remember feeling overwhelmed, trying to maintain like peace in my family while pursuing multiple degrees. My automatic role as fixer created stress and tension. Again, no one gave me this label. That's just the way that I felt. Like I wanted everything to be better. Um, Instead of continuing the same pattern though, I decided to pause and reflect for myself because I needed to. I set clear boundaries. I reclaimed my voice. So I was open, honest, and transparent about what wasn't working for me in the family, what wasn't working with me with the relationships that I was having, and what I needed changed. But I also was honest with my own voice towards myself. I allowed myself to say no, 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 without guilt. No, it doesn't work for me. No, I don't want to do that. No, no, no. And that's when I realized something important. Resets are powerful, right? They aren't failures. They're actually opportunities to step back, recalibrate, and move forward stronger. That's what we all need. This reset, it actually helped me build healthier communication, stronger relationships. I did work on some of those, and I'm super proud of myself. And I also gained self respect, even while family dynamics remained complex. And in all due honesty, the family dynamics are still somewhat complex, right? Because that's just the way it is sometimes. Family patterns don't stay at home, though. Um, you bring you to work every day. You bring you to work in friendships and you to work in romantic relationships. That means that you bring in those family patterns into them as well. Breaking old cycles, it allows us to lead intentionally, communicate clearly, and build relationships that support growth instead of draining it. I always talk about like that fixed mindset versus growth mindset. This right here that I'm speaking of is part of that growth mindset. You have to remember that the work that you do on yourself, it has literally, and I'm going to do this like a ripple effect, right? It impacts everyone around you, from the colleagues to your partners to your own children. In some way, you might just be a trendsetter, right? You don't even know that, right? You might just be like setting off a domino for other people to dig into their family like patterns and family dynamics and change some of that. So I need you to take a moment right now and answer this in your journal, notebook, all that, right? What role do you play in your family right now? What role do you play? And how does it impact your life today? So even if you have to think about back in the days to now, do that. What is one small shift that you can literally make to respond differently? How can you change that role for yourself so that things can be better for yourself? Even small changes ripple outward, creating healthier patterns for yourself and those around you. That is the name of the game. I want healthy patterns for me. I want healthy patterns for others. Thank you for joining me today on Ignite Futures Glow Forward with Jocelyn. I really appreciate you showing up here. I want you to like take this piece away. Remember that family dynamics, they are very complex. They are. Um, but they are not fixed, which means they can change. With awareness, they can change with intentional communication and healthy boundaries. If all that is applied, like you understand that you can break old patterns, like you can strengthen relationships and grow in ways that truly serve you and do away with the, I guess, negatives, right? That didn't do you any good and it doesn't do the people in your world any good. Don't forget to hit that like, follow, and share, and subscribe. I'm also on all social media platforms with full content. If you just need support on an everyday basis, I'm here. You can book with me or you can use my content to support you, right? Also, don't forget, and I want to pull it up, my new book, Seasons of Growth, Rediscovering Yourself Through Life's Transition. It is available for Kindle pre-order. Okay. The Kindle and the paperback will be releasing on 3/31. And it's part of my From Stuck to Spark series. That was my first book. So I definitely want to show that to you. Right. So here's my first book, From Stuck to Spark, A Guide to Clarity, Confidence, and Transformation. And then you have my other book. Both books are able to help you start your journey towards clarity, confidence, and intentional growth. Okay? Today. So until next time, I want you to keep glowing, I want you to keep growing, and let's grow together. Let's glow forward, and let's ignite what's next.